Do you see the same kind of villain in the movie? In the show?
I never see as a villain.
Me neither.
I don't think either one of us see her as a villain. We see her as her first move. So I'm talking about in the past, and in the past I see her as she survived an intense trauma and isolation, and she's in her mind. We don't have Instagram, we don't have Twitter, she's isolated, and in her mind, the world is coming to an end. There's no hope for the world. And so I think she's a woman of action, and that action that she makes is an attempt to save humanity. I think not necessarily destroy it.
Right. And I agree with what Ross just said. Because I try to make it very clear for myself, it's only about choices. I have to not judge my character from the very beginning and only focus on the choices, because all the events that Ye Wenjie has been through have made her what she's become, and all the events are death-threatening. But nothing could kill her, was what made her so powerful and strong, and that she can make the decision. Because for the weak, it's very difficult to have a choice, because we follow the choice when we feel weak, right? But on the other hand, she makes the decision, and what I need to do is to believe that the choices that she make can be justified, and the audience and the book of the fan of the books and the other people that occurring to the stories could understand what she's doing, or maybe does what she did.
Okay, I should say I'm a huge fan of the book. I love it, and I love your character. I love her. I think she's amazing and she's very special. So my other question is about the political background of the show. So how did this political background, shape Wenjie's personality?
Oh, it's definitely a very special time of the history. So as an actor, I have to do so much homework about the history. And I thought I have to understand the reason or the rational being of someone who will and want to survive in that environment.
It was an environment where family was turned against family. It wasn't uncommon, and I think, as a result of that time period, was a victim of, extreme betrayal. Her own mother betrayed, and that continues throughout her life. I mean, her, is this post-launch? If this is post-launch, I can say that, throughout her life, up until the end, betrayal has become a essential element, not essential, an unfortunate element in her being. And I think it informs a lot of her decision-making from beginning to end.
How do you see Jin Chang? Is she an optimist about humanity's future, a fighter, or even the both?
The both.
Oh, yeah, both, I would
both.
say. Jin is like a genius of her generation, which I am not. I do not relate to that, but I do relate to her idealism, because she actually is very optimistic about the future, and I think that's what allows her to keep driving forward and to keep wanting to solve answers, to solve problems, and just to just her ambition and her need to forge ahead. That's what gives her the strength and the courage to keep fighting. Yeah, I think she's really cool.
And Jovan, the three-body problem is a hard sci-fi with a lot of complicated scientific concepts. I have read the book and I can say I didn't understand everything. But how did it was for you to prepare to portray a scientist, and was it challenge for you?
Yeah, it actually was. I didn't touch the book until this opportunity to play Saul came about, and once I did, I knew that I was going to have to pass through it a second time, just because the ideas were so complex, and it's a dense read. After getting a chance to meet with David, Dan, and Alex to talk about what they were trying to bring to their adaptation, it put me at ease about the preparation, I think, and that's just because they explained that this was a story about people and about the global threat of having to face this moment in time. And so I think it allowed me to feel comfortable in preparing as I would any traditional role, and that's just fully and trying to make the character honest and connect to him the best way I can.
And just this show is about science and aliens, but it's also about friendship, and which in my opinion it's a significant and positive thing in the show. And how important is the friendship for this group of scientists that we see in the show?
Oh, super important. Like Jovan said, it's the characters and the relationships first, and that's what hopefully the audience will really latch on to, and that's how you go on this wild and epic journey without falling off the rails, you know? It's because you've got the people and the heart. So I think the creation of the Oxford Five is a genius move, because it means that there's an emotional core in the story that everyone can really hold on to as we move through this crazy arc.
And Jovan, do you believe we are alone in the universe? Does the plot of the three-body problem could be real someday?
I absolutely think it could be real. I think it's, especially after experiencing filming this, I feel like it's our own ego as a race of humans to think that we're the most advanced beings out there in existence. I don't know if I'm necessarily looking forward to ever communicating, because the whole premise of wanting to keep separate with communication as a means of protecting yourself, I think that I can understand that, and you know, yeah, I just think that'd be bad news.
Scary.
Yeah, that's a scary thought, to think that we could be so minimal in meaning to a higher being, like being like bugs. That's a scary thing.
I want to know, do you really support Manchester City like Jack?
No, I don't. This is a big sensitive area. This. I'm actually a huge Manchester United supporter.
Ooh.
I know, and you know, David and Dan are fairly famous for playing pranks on cast members and doing things just out of devilment and out of mischief. So the thing that they did is not only make Jack Rooney a Man City fan, they made him a Man City fan with money to burn, so he could buy himself the biggest drum kit he could find and paint it sky blue Man City colours. And in his house there's a huge kind of Man City canvas, and there was a scene that we shot where he had a Rolls Royce 4x4 that was sky blue as well.
Wrapped sky blue.
And
worst things I've ever seen.
And yeah, that's just them all over. I knew that they'd pull a stunt like that. They'll always find ways to kind of get under your skin, and yeah, the sort of method process that I had to undertake to play a Man City fan was kind of intense. I had to really kind of lower my IQ and stop dressing well, and you know, all of that.
This is a transformative, yeah.
Very transformative thing, and then when it was over, I got back to being cool again.
Okay. So, Alex, the friendship between Will and Jax is really strong. So, I want to know, who does Will love more, Jackie or Jess?
I'm afraid Jess. Sorry to break the news to you. It's a different kind of love. Yeah, I don't want to smooch you, but so it's a different area of love. No, I think he loves Jack very, very much. I think Jack is his probably the most important person in his life in a sort of day-to-day way, and they've been best mates for a long time, and that was very easy to play with John because we became very good friends very quickly. But yeah, his love for, I don't know if I'd be sort of shooting my brain off into space for Jack. I think he'd be like,
Well, he wouldn't ask you to.
shoot your own brain off.
Exactly. He wouldn't ask you to do that, and in many ways, that's why he's a better person.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a separate debate. Who's a better person, Jack or Jin?
It's not a debate.
But yes, no, I think he loves Jin on a cosmic.
So, John, I don't know in your real life if you like video games, but if yes, do you believe someday we'll have something similar to one created by the aliens in the show?
Oh, I think definitely, yeah. That's the weird thing now about when you see video games now that you played 25 years ago. You look at them and you think, I remember this looking awesome when I was a kid. What's happened to it? How did I ever believe this? However did I think this looked good?
Yeah.
But because you're just presented with these developments in kind of microscopic increments, the next game gets slightly better and slightly better. So now, with Oculus and everything that we've got, it won't be long before we look at the technology we've got now. And it looks incredibly rinky-dink, and it looks like GoldenEye 97 on the N64 looks to us now. These things move so quickly.
Rinky dink.
Yeah, do you know that expression?
No.
It just means like tin pot and
Okay.
and
I
kind
like
of small
it.
scale. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's only a matter of time before technology even supersedes that we see in the game. Within our lifetime, I reckon. We'll
Oh,
get
for
beyond.
sure. Yeah.